Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I call this meeting to order. We welcome all of you, those watching virtually, and all of you in attendance to the 47th Annual Atlantic County Democratic Convention. Thank you very much for attending. My name is Lisa Bender. I am a county committee person for City of Summers Point. I am the vice president of the Summers Point Democratic Club, and I am the chairperson of this convention. It's been a real honor, so I appreciate doing this. There's an incredible team, and we've had a lot of fun putting it together for you all today. We have an important role to play in democracy today. We will be selecting which candidates to endorse as a collective committee for the Atlantic County Democrats. So the election is important because our current ballots are run by columns, which if you all are voters, I imagine you are, you understand that system. So the candidates here today know that having their name in the column labeled Atlantic County Democratic Committee is really important. So that's why they're here, and we're excited to hear what they have to say and cast a vote for the contested election. So each candidate has an Atlantic County Democrat delegate that will be nominating them today. So once we get into that's why we're here, basically. We have a nominator and then the candidate. They will both have a chance to speak to us so you can learn before voting. We have 3 candidates who are vying for the opportunity to become the next U.S. congressional representative for Congressional District 2 in New Jersey. So we're excited about that. And Atlantic County, we have 3 candidates to endorse as well. We have an at-large candidate, a candidate for District 1, and a candidate for District 4. So we'll be hearing from them. And I'm sure Chairman Suleiman will be sharing good news about our new commission map, our new commissioner district map. So I will let him share that good news later, but we're really proud of him, Chairman Suleiman and Dr. Witherspoon, for all the work they did on their redistricting and winning a great, fair, and equitable map for Atlantic County. So we're excited for the future of this decade. But before we get to that, I want to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm going to be introducing Barbara McCoskey. She is a county committee member for the city of Township of Egg Harbor, and is also been an invaluable member of our convention planning committee. After the national anthem, please stay standing, because we have, after the Pledge of Allegiance, stay standing for the national anthem. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Barbara. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage a young woman who will firmly set our patriotic spirit today. Her name is Morgan Murphy. She is a Margate resident and student at Holy Spirit High School. Thank you, Morgan.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh my gosh, thank you, Morgan. That was beautiful. I got the chills. Wow. Okay, now I'd like to welcome our Vice Chairwoman, Audrey Miles, to the stage. She's going to be introducing a special guest, And we also want to note that this could be Audrey's final speech for now because she has been nominated by Governor Murphy to be the Atlantic County Deputy Superintendent of Elections. So congratulations on that nomination, Audrey.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be here and happy to see you all and all of those who are joining by Zoom. As Lisa mentioned, I have been nominated to be the Deputy Superintendent of Elections. And if I'm confirmed next week, sadly, I will not be able to continue as your Vice Chairwoman. I've been very fortunate these past 4 years to learn from and to work alongside a wonderful person, Michael Suleiman, our chairman. I'm going to really miss him and our partnership that we've had together for these past few years. He's taught me a lot. I'm also going to miss working with the executive committee and with all of the committee members. So should this happen, it's going to be bittersweet because I will miss all of this, but I'll still be around and I'll just be serving you in a different way. And I'm going to treasure all the memories and friendships that I've made over these years. Thank you so much for allowing me to have this experience. I appreciate it. I'm honored today to introduce a very special member of the community to the stage to enlighten us as we face a task at hand. Mr. Ralph Hunter Sr., the founder and president of the African American Heritage Museum of Southern New Jersey, has so graciously agreed to be here with us today. Over 30 years ago, Mr. Hunter began a personal collection of African American cultural, artistic, and media images that inspired the creation of the museum. It started with a discovery in a North Carolina antique shop. Tucked away in the back was an original edition of Little Black Sambo by Helen Bannerman. He says, "I bought it to take it off the market, but instead of hiding it, his goal became just the opposite. He dreamed of displaying it in an effort to preserve history, and the book transformed the treasures he had collected into his first exhibit. After more than 3 decades of acquiring pieces, the collection now numbers in the thousands, and Mr. Hunter is committed to sharing it with school students, families, and others interested in the honest depiction of the African American experience. There are currently 2 locations of the African American Heritage Museum of Southern New Jersey, the original museum in Newtonville, which just celebrated its 20th anniversary, and one in Atlantic City at the Noise Arts Garage. Mr. Hunter is a recipient of South Jersey Cultural Alliance's Lifetime Achievement Award, and we are honored to have him here with us today. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Ralph Hunter.
Hi, gang. How are you? I'm here to talk about Democrats and welcome each and every one of you to coming out today to make sure that your vote is counted. Make sure your next door neighbor's vote is counted, as well as people up and down the streets and the highways of Southern New Jersey, in particular Atlantic County. I come to you with some pretty cool credentials. At one point in time when I was a youngster, I lived in Cherry Hill, and I was a county committeeman. Then I went on to become the state committeeman in the Democratic Party, and it was a great, great honor. And a little later in life, I had the opportunity, prior to that, working at a place in Atlantic County called Garbage Mills. Anyone? Oh, Garwood, I'm sorry. I remember being at Garwood Mills back in the 50s, where I got a summer job working as a stock boy. And in doing that job, I remember earning 90 cents an hour. So I would work 90 hours a week to earn $90 to have enough money to stay in school and then get back and take care of my family. It was really, really, really a great time. So that's one of my experiences here in South Jersey. Another thing that happened to me along the way was that in Atlantic City, they were ready to open a casino in Atlantic City. It was called Resorts International. And there was a little problem getting the license for resorts. And I got a call from a guy by the name of Reese Pally, who's another Democrat, who said that we're having a problem getting resorts open. We need you to come from Cherry Hill and come down and sign up and open up a retail store at resorts. And I did that. Resorts got their license. Governor Byrne at that point in time was very thrilled that they were able to take care of that problem they were having. So a lot of great things happened for me here in South Jersey. One of the greatest things that happened was there was a guy in Buena Vista Township. His name was Chuck Chiarello. I had the pleasure of meeting Chuck about 20 years ago. And he had started an ad that appeared in the press of Atlantic City. And the article read, African American Museum in Search of a Home. That next morning, Chuck Chiarello called me and brought me down to Newtonville in Buena Vista Township and says, I have a space for your museum. So you have a space that's in the middle of the country. Who's coming to Newtonville? so he was able to convince him. If anyone knew Chuck Chiarello, you know how convincing he was. And we went to Newtonville and we opened up a museum there. We've been celebrating there for some 20 years and really pleased to be part of that. A little later on, we had the opportunity to come with Stockton University to the Noise Arts Garage where we have a museum. We've been there for 9 years. But more important than any of those accomplishments by the museum, I had some great friends along the way. When I lived in Camden County, there was a young man by the name of Luke Katz who brought me by the hand, and I brought him by the hand to become involved in politics. And it was really, really great being the first African-American ever elected to office in Cherry Hill Township. So it was really, really a great accomplishment for me. I know your plight. I know what you need to do to get this election done. I know what it takes to win. It takes a lot of team effort from not only from your chairperson, but from your neighbors and your friends as well. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call and ask for help. Ask for help on election day. Ask for help on your phone banks. It's important that you guys come together as a unit and work for each other to get this election won by Democrats here in Atlantic County. It's so very, very important we get this election back in our hand. So the other thing I wanted to make mention of was I love Democrats. I can smell you, I can taste you. It's just wonderful to be in a room with a bunch of Democrats. It's really, really great. It's been a long time since I've done it. Give yourselves a round of a damn applause. It's so really, 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 really great to be out here today. Now, I was supposed to make an announcement before I started talking, but you know, once I get the lights and the mic, I go a little berserk. But I have a young lady here who I brought with me today, who's a poet laureate, who's going to give a reading of a speech. Her name is Michelle Washington Wilson. Michelle, can you come forward?
For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Washington Wilson, and as Mr. Hunter mentioned, I am a poet and I'm also a storyteller. And I'm also from Newtonville, New Jersey, which is out in the western end. And if you haven't been to Newtonville, the museum out there is yet another reason to visit what we call 6 square miles of pure bliss in the Pines. I want to thank Chairman Suleiman and the delegates and the leaders and all of my neighbors in Atlantic County for having me out this afternoon, and especially Mr. Ralph Hunter Sr. The poem that I'd like to share with you is The Hill We Climb, and you're probably familiar with it. It is by Amanda Gorman, and it is the poem that was read at the inauguration of President Joseph Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. The Hill We Climb, an inaugural poem for the country by Amanda Gorman. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We brave the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country in a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but this doesn't mean we're striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we were tired, we tried. That we'll be forever tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade. The hill we climb, if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith, we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to author hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we ask, How could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from our bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-lined hills of the West. We will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people, diverse and dutiful. We'll emerge battered but beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Thank you, Michelle. If you have an opportunity to visit any of our museums, these are the kinds of works of art we put together. Some is something to hang on the wall, some are voices from deep within. Thank you for coming and welcome.
Wow, it's wonderful to hear that poem again, and you spoke it so beautifully. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Hunter, for being here today and sharing your journey. Wow, okay, I am inspired now, guys. It's gonna be exciting. Okay, so now I am up here speaking as a chairperson, but I did not do this alone. There are so many people that are here today and a lot of people that play a really important role. So I know last year I viewed this as somebody that had never been to a Democratic convention before. So I wanted to take a little bit of time. Sorry, I don't want to get too long, but I wanted to introduce the officials of today so you have an idea of what everyone's role is. So can I have Terry Baker please stand up? Thank you, Terry. Terry does, I mean, we wouldn't be here without Terry and Butch, who's next door, I'll get to him, but they are volunteers for the Atlantic County Committee all the time. They do so much behind the scenes. They do, I call her a technical advisor, but I told her I should say technical superstar. She handles everything. So thank you so much, Terry, for getting us here today. I appreciate it. And then Butch Burrows. Butch is the county committee treasurer, but he does, again, so much more than that. Handles every Zoom meeting and registrations and just everything. So the two of them are technical wizards and they do so much for us. So thank you again, and thank you for your role today. And Waleed Abdurabu, Waleed is, he's playing a very important role today as a judge and running the Simply Voting program that'll be sending you all your ballots. But in addition to that, he is also a technical wizard and professionally as well, but he has been managing our website. We really wanted to get, as you guys know, if you registered, we really wanted to, jump into the 21st century and get as much as we could online to make it easier. So he helped us get there. So thank you so much, Waleed. Dr. Leanna Mullen is not visible right now because she is running the show. She is our producer. She also did our program book, and she has a production company as well. You'll see it in the program book. So if you ever need beautiful production or video or print or digital, seek out Leanna. But thank you so much for everything you did for us today, Leanna. Senator Colin Bell he was in the room. He's back here. Thank you. He is a member of the Rules Committee, also our committee solicitor. So thank you for getting us all set for today. Elliot Almanza, will you please stand? He is also a member of the Rules Committee and helped write up the rules. And both Colin and Elliot are serving as parliamentarians today. So if we have any concerns, please share them with me or Colin or Elliot. Stacy Rose is our moderator. She has a very important role to play today. She's been the point person for all nominations and will be running the show when we get to all the speeches. So thank you very much. Creed Pogue. Here's Creed. He has a lot of roles that he plays as well regularly. He's a sergeant at arms for the county committee. Today he is our floor chair. And he will be, he's been working with the credentials committee and everyone up to this point as well to make sure all about the eligible delegates. And he plays an important role. He'll be speaking to us later when it comes to voting. Bert Correa is here. He is our chief judge today. So Bert will be handling any issues once the voting starts. We just want to make sure everybody in the room, if you have any questions, and for the poll watchers as well, Bert is someone to see if you have any issues or concerns about voting. And then we have Lisa Bonanno as well. She is one of our judges. So Bert and Lisa will be the two people, again, that you'll be seeing, because we have Kimberly O'Brien and Anthony Angelosi as well. They make up our credentials committee. And they will be, we'll be giving out a hotline phone number for for the virtual people because you're not here. We'll be giving you phone numbers if you have any issues with voting while you are, checking your emails. Those are the two that you'll be speaking with, and they will be making sure that, if people are calling you with issues, they have an eligible delegates list. If they need to review it, make sure that someone is eligible and that they will definitely get a ballot. So we just want to make sure everyone gets what they need. And they have copies of the delegates list as well. If anyone had a question or concern, you can see them at any time. Thank you for that. Thank you, guys. Dr. Shari Parmenter is here. She is our Master Sergeant at Arms today. She's back here. Thank you, Shari. She was helping when people came in as delegates, again, just double checking, because if you hadn't registered ahead, we just wanted to make sure that everyone is who they say they are. Yolanda Cooper is here. She is a Sergeant at Arms today and here she is. She also serves as the county committee Sergeant at Arms regularly. So those are all of our officials, but I also want to thank everybody else that's helped us get to this point, our convention committee. We have Jamie Costello from Linwood, Sherry Elder, who is also the county committee secretary. Melissa, yeah, she does so much for us, thank you. Melissa Goldsboro is her assistant secretary. She was here today as well, helping everybody. Rob Herman, he's at every committee call. He's over here. He's an attorney and helps us with a lot of, always with the county committee with a lot of questions, and he's helped us a lot today. We have Lisa Mayo Howell. Is she here today? She's not here today. Okay. Barbara Mikowski, who said the pledge for us. She's here. She's been helping with petitions. Thank you, Barbara. Quentin McClendon. He's been on all the calls. I'm not sure if he's here. Dan Myers as well. He's a Summers Point committee person, and he's been helping on our committee calls as well. Thank you, Dan. Mary Slomine from Margate. I know she was a chair before, and personally, she helped me a lot when I was first getting started, like, what am I doing? So she was very helpful. We have Wick Ward, who is also our deputy treasurer for the county committee. So thank you, Wick. And Mike Zupko, who is here with Emily McGrath, who I think actually maybe I forgot to mention. I feel bad about that. Okay, so Emily McGrath is, hopefully, is she here? Oh, she's here. Sorry. So Emily, I think I forgot you for my list. She is a very important role. She's the assistant sergeant at arms, and she will also be our timekeeper today. So yeah. So Emily will be up front. So for the speakers and candidates and nominators, she will have cards for you. So just keep your eye on her for watching the time. And then her friend Mike Zupko was here, and they did registration. So thank you, everybody. Okay, thank you for letting me take the time to do that. And without further ado, I'll ask our chairperson, Michael Suleiman, to come to the podium. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hello on Zoom and hello in the hall here. It feels good to have a normal convention for a change, right? Hopefully next year we'll be back to the pomp and circumstance, but appreciate everybody coming tonight. I want to recognize our sponsors for this great convention. Our platinum sponsors, the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters, Stockton Federation of Teachers, and IBEW Local 351. Our gold, please, yes. We love organized labor, that's for sure. Our gold sponsors, Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, Local 322, and Sheet Metal Workers, Local Union 19. And our silver sponsors, the New Jersey Education Association, Tuckahoe Brewing Company, South Jersey Building Trades, and Laborers, Local 172. Thank you so much. Certainly appreciate Lisa's all hard work as our chair, and certainly her phrase, forward with fortitude, is a big deal for us. You know, we had a rough November, like most of us did in the state of New Jersey, but we forged ahead and we moved forward, and we're kicking some butt now. We had a big victory with county commission redistricting. Now we have a fair and inclusive and representative map for all 274,000 folks here in Atlantic County, which is a very big deal. And it will allow us one day to flip this commissioner board, which we're very excited about. And we're going to have a kick. Gas prices are high and inflation's an issue, but that's coming down, and the Biden-Harris administration are doing a great job. We're going to have a black woman on the Supreme Court, so things are picking up. So we're very excited about nationally what our prospects are going to be. And by God, Jeff Van Drew, we'll see you later. I want to kick his butt too. That would be nice. So I have the great privilege of giving out some awards to us. Pays to be the chairman. Some great people we want to recognize, and it'd be nice to give an award to everybody, because everybody in this room has done so much work to help the Atlantic County Democratic Committee over these years. First, it's my pleasure to recognize the Rising Star Award. We have two individuals here that exemplify what it means to be rising stars in our county Democratic Party. Today, we honor former District 2 Commissioner candidate Jelani Gandy and 2022 Convention Chair Lisa Bender. Congratulations both. And I think Jelani's not here with us. We'll make sure he gets his award. I want to recognize the Chairman's Award. The Chairperson's Award goes to an organization showing renewed growth, strength, and commitment to the Atlantic County Democratic Committee. And to that end, we'd like to recognize Constant Mandy Days Chapman and the Atlantic City Democratic Committee. Congratulations. This year's Jim Whale Memorial Award, a guy near and dear to my heart, recognizes someone who has been a leader in local Democratic politics, as well as fighting for good governance and transparency in her town. This year we want to recognize Barbara Rowe, Mullica Township Municipal Chair and President of the Atlantic County Council of Education Associations. The Ed Devlin Memorial Award goes to two committed volunteers who are always willing to help us deliver signs, make phone calls, mailings, door knocking, calls, all the stuff that sometimes isn't the most fun, but is the most important to reaching voters. To that end, and I don't think they're here, they're watching via Zoom, we want to honor Rosemary Hill of Hamilton Township and Kathy Racielli of Brigantine. So congratulations, both of you. Hopefully you're watching on Zoom. It is my pleasure now to present the Fannie Lou Hamer Award. As we all know, Ms. Hamer was a civil rights icon who led now famous protests in the 1964 Democratic National Convention in Atlantic City, demanding equality for everyone. Today, we present the Fannie Lou Hamer to two folks. First, we want to recognize, and I don't think she's here, the Municipal Chair of the Pleasantville Democrats, Vivian Lockett. Congratulations, Vivian. And I want to recognize for another Fannie Lou Hamer Award, someone who we heard from who was started as a partner, now become a good friend, and you know, she's on to her next chapter in her life, our friend Audrey Miles. Congratulations, Audrey. And I'll just note, you know, Audrey's really done a lot of work behind the scenes, fighting for us on the Board of Elections as vice chair, and she's going to fight for us to make sure provisional ballots are adequately prepared for and folks' registration is done. So she's going to be doing a lot for the Democratic Party, just not in official capacity. And her successor is going to have big shoes to fill, so we're looking forward to that. But Audrey's been a great friend, and to your point, you said I taught you a lot. You taught me how to deal with people, because when I want to fight and kill somebody, you say, no, take it easy, relax. So that's what I need. Mary did that, and you did that as well. So thank you, Audrey, really. Finally, it's my pleasure to present the AC/DC Lifetime Achievement Award. Seldomly given out, this award is given to a select group of activists, elected officials, and party leaders who exemplify what it means to be an Atlantic County Democrat. Most recently, this award was given out to former Atlantic County Clerk Ed McGettigan and former Atlantic County Democratic Chairman Jim Schroeder. It is my pleasure to present the AC/DC Lifetime Achievement Award to two men who have positively impacted the lives of all 274,000 of us here in Atlantic County. While they are unfortunately no longer in the legislature, their dedication to public service continues. Please join me in congratulating Assemblyman Vince Mazzeo and John Armato. No, not yet. No. It's we'll twist his arm after the election, about 23, right? So with that, I think we are good on awards. I will now bring up Chairwoman Bender to lead us throughout the rest of the convention. Thank you, everybody.
Sorry, I got to keep a lot in order. I need my script here. Well, congratulations, award winners. That was really exciting. I'm surprised. All right, now I would like to introduce Kimberly O'Brien. She's the president of the Summers Point Democratic Club, also a committee member, and she is our credentials chairperson today. So she's going to come up and give us our credentials report. So I hereby recognize Kim O'Brien to deliver the credentials committee report.
Thank you, Lisa. There are 314 total delegates. At one point, the program did say that there were 315 delegates, but a delegate in Northfield moved out of state, and now that number is 314. The candidates were advised of this last week. Pursuant to our rules, all eligible delegates will be emailed their ballot when voting begins, whether they are watching the Zoom broadcast or in the hall. We expect that to be sometime after 3 o'clock when all nominations are completed. We are using ranked choice voting today, which means candidates in contested races must achieve a majority of votes cast, 50% plus 1, to receive our endorsement. There is a page that explains this in the program, but briefly, I'll explain. When you receive your ballot, which you will get automatically by email when voting begins, you will need to choose which candidate you prefer first by ranking them number 1. Your second choice should be ranked number 2, and your third, number 3, etc. If no candidate receives a majority of votes in the first round, the candidate with the least amount of votes will automatically be eliminated. If a candidate is eliminated, the first choice votes that person received from voters who chose them as their number one will be reallocated to those voters' second choice candidate. The breakdown of delegates is as follows. Absecon, 14. Atlantic City, 50. Brigantine, 11. Buena Borough, 4. Buena Vista, 9. Corbin City, 2. Egg Harbor City, 16. Egg Harbor Township, 44. Estelle Manor, 3. Folsom, 1. Galloway, 35. Hamilton Township, 26. Hamilton, 10. Linwood, 10. Longport, 2. Margate, 9. Mullica Township, 5. Northfield, 14. Pleasantville, 20. Port Republic, 2. Summers Point, 17. Ventnor, 10. Weymouth, 0, for a total of 314 delegates. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much, Kim. Okay, I'd now like to introduce today's moderator, Stacy Rose. She will go over the convention rules and begin the nominations. Stacy plays an important role as the corresponding secretary and super teammate for the Township of Hamilton Democratic Club. Thank you. And then remember again, during the nominations, we have Emily here, so anyone that's giving a speech, keep your eye on her for the time. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lisa. First, since each year we have new delegates present, I would like to briefly review the rules that have to do with the nomination process. So for a valid nomination, the nominee has to indicate both verbally and in writing that they will comply with the convention rules. Candidates already wrote letters to the county committee chairperson sharing their intention to be nominated. We had a deadline of 1 week prior, so all letters had to be submitted by Sunday, March 13th. The Credentials Committee verifies that all nominations and seconds are made by eligible delegates. I stopped growing in 1996, so this is a problem I have just generally in life. Perfect. Hello, everyone. It's really important that you can hear me. Seeing me is just a bonus. The Credentials Committee verifies that all nominations and seconds are made by eligible delegates. The candidates already named those who will be nominating them, and they are in compliance. We have lists of eligible delegates available for whomever would like to review them. There will only be one nomination speech per candidate, made by the delegate who is doing the nominating. The time limit for the speech is 2 minutes. Emily McGrath, Assistant Sergeant at Arms, will be our timekeeper today. At the close of nomination for each office, if the race is contested, each candidate will be allowed to speak for up to 3 minutes, ordered alphabetically by last name. There is only one contested race at the convention, and that race is for Congress. We're affording the congressional candidates 4 minutes each. All delegates will receive their ballot by email at the start of voting. The platform, Simply Voting, a secure, secret, and encrypted voting software, will be used. Please see more about Simply Voting in the program. Delegates will only receive their ballot by email once the voting period begins. So all delegates will be voting together in the 30-minute period and only within that 30-minute period. Voting can be called by the floor chair, Creek Pogue. A 30-minute timer will run on the screen for those participating in the convention. We have notified all delegates about the voting rules and time limits prior to the convention, so those not attending today are aware of the 30-minute window. During voting, the floor chair, judges, credential chair, and credentials committee will be in the designated area available to answer any questions. Sergeant at Arms will be maintaining order, so please give them your respect. Every candidate seeking endorsement today has agreed that if endorsed, they will run with the designation Atlantic County Democratic Committee. Very exciting. We will now begin the nominating process for the following offices: United States House of Representatives for New Jersey Congressional District 2, Atlantic County Commissioner at Large, Atlantic County Commissioner District 1, and Atlantic County Commissioner District 4. With that, I will now open nominations for Atlantic County Commissioner at Large. There's one eligible candidate. I recognize Councilman Mohammed Anjum Z. Is a councilman here today? All yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for being here in Democrat Convention 2022. That's okay. My name is Muhammad Anjum Zia. I'm Councilman, City of Atlantic City. My pleasure is to nominate Habibur Rahman for Atlantic County Commissioner at Large. I have been know Habib and his family last 20 years. I know him as a good friend, good father, and successful businessman in Atlantic City. Especially thanks to the Merchant Association, Bangladesh Associations, and Indian community. They all stand with Habibur Rahman. He's been doing a great job with all communities. We never had a South Asian county commissioner before. My special thanks to Mike Suleiman for his sincere support to the South Asians. Habib will do a great job representing our party on the board of commissioners. Habib, come to the mic. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Z. The nomination of Habib Rahman of Brigantine has been seconded by Audrey Miles of Brigantine. With only one candidate seeking the endorsement of the convention hereby endorses Habib Rahman by acclamation. We now invite Mr. Rahman to give his acceptance speech.
Good afternoon, my fellow citizens of this great state of New Jersey and the great county of Atlantic County. My blessings and prayers of prosperity upon all of you. It's a truly monumental honor and a magnificent privilege to standing here in front of all of you. My name is Habib Rahman. For me to begin with, I wanted to thank Atlantic City Councilman Mr. Anjum Zia for nominating me. And I also want to thank, secondly, Chairwoman Audrey Miles for nominating me, and special thanks to Mr. Chairman Mike Suleiman to encourage me and to support me for this nomination. I know we have a couple of minutes, and I just want to say, as an immigrant, came to this country almost 3 decades ago, and my parents been here almost 4 decades, and I'm so blessed to be in the part of this Atlantic County residence since my arrival to this country. And as far as my early education, I attended my associate degree program from Atlantic Community College, and then moved on to my Bachelor Engineering Technology program in Electronics Engineering from Delaware University. And I am, thank God, married with a beautiful wife. My 4 young boys are here, my brothers, and I thank for them to coming and giving me a support today. And as a little brief of myself, after my graduation, I started joining my family's business and supporting them for the last 3 decades in the Atlantic City area, right on the boardwalk. Thank God, it's been a great time we had, and that the sport, the working with the local community, local officials, that encouraged me for the last few years to become a sport and to become a fellow who can advance and help others to become a community member, to show all the things that I learned throughout these years, to be a member to be a people person, to learn things in a business, to widen myself out, to help others, what I learn, the things that we are missing, the things that we are behind, to bring all the communities and people, all diversity, to move forward to the next level. And that's where I need everybody's help in the coming time. And I really wanted to thank here my family who's here, my business community member from Atlantic City area, they are here. And I'm also requesting all the people, because I'm a new beginner, new bird in this democratic vision, I wanted to, your support, I want your help to move out. And just an example, the way we see roads and bridges out there that connect cities and counties and states. Listen, folks, we need roads and bridges to bring minds and hearts together. That's what my vision is, and that's what I want to go out, bring people together in one platform. All I see is a democratic vision, not only in the city, not even in the county, not even only in the state, but let's actually, we still thanks to our President Joe Biden, and we thank Governor Phil Murphy for their support and what they tremendously what they have done to help us, to lead us to go ahead. And I thank you everybody for coming out and supporting me, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations, Mr. Rahman. I will now open nominations for the Atlantic County Commissioner District 1. There's one eligible candidate. I now recognize Councilman Kaleem Shabazz, who will be making his nomination by a pre-recorded video.
My fellow Democrats, I am Kaleem Shabazz, the 3rd Ward Councilperson in Atlantic City and Vice Chair of the City Council. It is my great honor and distinct pleasure to nominate for re-election Commissioner Ernest D. Coursey. There will be a new 1st District in this election, but our commissioner is a veteran in fighting for and standing for democratic values and ideals. Commissioner Coursey is an effective, focused, and competent representative. Commissioner Coursey is experienced at the municipal, county, and state levels of government. I know that Commissioner Coursey will be reelected and will continue to represent our district with honor, integrity, and passion. Fellow delegates, please join me in supporting the re-election of Commissioner Ernest D. Coursey and the election of Democrats at every position on our ticket. This election is important, it's critical, and it's crucial. We must make sure that Democrats are elected so they can represent our values and our goals and respect the people of our district. Commissioner Ernest D. Coursey will be a leader in that on the county commissioners. Please help me support him and all Democrats. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate Councilman Shabazz's nomination. The nomination of Ernest Coursey has been seconded by Doc Livingston of Ventnor. With only one candidate seeking the endorsement of the convention hereby endorses Ernest Coursey by acclamation. We will now show Mr. Coursey's acceptance speech by pre-recorded video.
Good afternoon, my fellow Democrats. Let me take this opportunity to thank Councilman Kaleem Shabazz for placing my name into nomination. And also let me thank Mr. Doc Livingston for seconding my nomination. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for all you do for the Atlantic County Democratic Party, and thank you for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward with this campaign, we must stay focused and continue to elect Democrats up and down the ticket. Democrats continue to look out for the middle class and the working poor, those who pour our coffees, who park our cars, and make our beds. Democrats understand the importance of good schools and good jobs. As we get close to Election Day, I look forward to meeting and talking to the people that I will represent. I want to hear your concerns, your issues, and your suggestions that will make all of our lives better. The new District 1 now will include Atlantic City, Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Egg Harbor Township, District 13. We have had no tax increase in Atlantic County in the last few years, but we need to assure the residents that they receive the services they deserve. I have been a public servant for over 30 years, and I have a proven record of leadership, and I'm not afraid to cross party lines to get things done for our county. As I roll up my sleeves to work during this election, I ask that you do the same. Let's make sure Democrats votes are counted, and Democrats are elected. And so today, I proudly accept the nomination as your district commissioner of District 1. Thank you so much for your support. I thank my family. I thank my friends. And more importantly, I thank Almighty God for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Let's go Democrats.
Our congratulations go out to Mr. Corsi. I will now open nominations for Atlantic County Commissioner District 4. There's one eligible candidate. I recognize Waleed Abdrabab. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Waleed. Waleed Abdrabab. Waleed Abdurabu. I have been practicing it all day, and then I get up here and I can't do it. So my apologies, Waleed.
Thank you. So full disclosure, I've known Stacy for quite some time now, as I have many other people, and my name is just one of those names. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Waleed Abdurabu. I can pronounce it correctly. And I'm honored today to nominate Jay Shah for County Commissioner District 4. A longtime resident of Galloway, Mr. Shah is a devoted member of the community and has spent his professional career serving others. He currently serves as a relationship banker for Wells Fargo, working directly and closely with customers to help plan their short and long-term financial goals. An intelligent mind for finance, he identifies financial plans and solutions to help customers and families make their dreams a reality. Beyond his professional capacity, Jay has strived to serve others whenever the opportunity arises. He has spent many years volunteering as a member of various community organizations. In 2019, he ran for the Galloway Township School Board. He ran hoping to help better the lives of children through his financial experience and his love for his community. Jay understands the value of serving others and embraces it. He understands the need to build relationships within our communities and to be a voice for people. He understands family and love of community. He no doubt has a very bright future, and I am excited to see him become our next county commissioner for District 4. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdurabu. At that time. The nomination of Jay Shah of Galloway has been seconded by Meg Worthington of Galloway. With only one candidate seeking the endorsement of the convention hereby endorses Jay Shah of Galloway by acclamation. We now invite Mr. Shah to give his acceptance speech.
Thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Valid, for your kind introduction. I'm humbled and honored to really receive the nomination for District 4 as your county commissioner. So big thanks for nominating me, Valid. As you heard from Valid, my name is Jay Shah, and I've been a proud resident of Galloway Township, Atlantic County for past over a decade. And as you heard from Valid, I would like to take this opportunity first to really thank Michael, Valid, and the committee for putting faith in me to represent our great county. But to be honest with you, if you had told me this, my younger version of me 15 years ago, that hey, 15 years later, you'll be speaking to a lot of great minds talking about your ideas and the plans and the hopes of the county, he would have just laughed. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know what to do at that point. But I moved here in the US with my family and a younger sister about 15 years ago to live the American dream. I've been an Atlantic County resident for over a decade, and I can honestly and proudly say that the community, the Atlantic County, has provided more than we had wished for, more than we could have asked for. So I'm always going to be grateful for the county that has provided for me and my family. I've often asked, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to put yourself out there? And the answer is simple. The community that has given me the opportunity from working 2 jobs to being at a bank, of one of the biggest banks in the country, to work as a relationship manager, why not? Why not take your expertise and really help people in need? And being an immigrant, I really want to see more representation at the county level. I really want to see more faces, more diversity. And as we know, Atlantic County is a melting pot. We see so many different cultures, food, religions, festivals. I want us all to come together and build a great community. And then one last thing before I go, as our motto says, a lot of voices, one future. Let's make a great future for our next generation. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and let's paint the town blue in November. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and congratulations, Mr. Shah. I will now open nominations for United States House of Representatives for New Jersey Congressional District 2. There are 3 eligible candidates. First, and by alphabetical order by last name of candidate, I recognize former Assemblyman Vince Mazzio of Northfield.
Good afternoon, my fellow Democrats. I know firsthand 2021 was not a good year for Democrats. We must move forward and fight to elect Democrats who have the best chance to win and be united in the effort. Today, I'm here to nominate Tim Alexander to beat Benedict Arnold, Jeff Van Drew in November. Tim's journey has always been rooted in public service. From a racially profiled youth and arrested for a crime he did not commit, to entering law enforcement himself to try and change the system from the inside. He eventually retired from law enforcement for a legal career focused on civil rights litigation. One of the biggest issues facing our nation currently is the fight over voting rights. Tim believes that the right to vote should be cherished and defended from partisan attacks. He supports the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which would protect the voting rights of communities of color and restore key parts of Voting Rights Act of 1965. If everyone can vote, Tim knows and hold the representatives accountable. Tim is a staunch supporter of equal rights and believes that any government attempt to control the reproductive freedom of women is an infringement of those rights. Tim plans to revitalize our infrastructure by connecting Atlantic City Airport to Atlantic City and piloting an EV busing system all across South Jersey. Tim has called South Jersey his home for the past 40 years, knows firsthand what our district needs from Congress, and has real plans to address those goals, those needs. We are confident that Tim will be the kind of congressman South Jersey deserves, but more importantly, needs at this critical time in our country. With deep respect and honor, I nominate Tim Alexander to be our representative and next congressman of District 2 of the great state of New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblyman Mazzio. The nomination of Tim Alexander has been seconded by Mary Slimine of Margate. I now recognize, They'll do them later. They'll do them later. Sorry. I now recognize Eileen Tolland of Northfield, who will make her nomination by pre-recorded video.
Hello, my name is Eileen Toland. I am co-chair of the Northfield Democrats. I am so proud to be able to nominate Carolyn Rush for Congress at our 2nd Congressional District. Carolyn isn't in this for fame and fortune. It was at the Women's March in Washington when she overheard someone say, "Be the change that you want to see," that enticed her into running for office. An engineer by trade, Carolyn has worked on the ballistic missiles system with the Department of Defense and also with the Navy on their Aegis system. She has a classified security clearance. She also has worked on Easy Pass both here in New Jersey as well as in Florida and in California. We need an economy that works to benefit everyone while combating the ongoing challenge of global warming. That time is now. We need to provide Americans with high-quality, affordable health care and to support women's health and our reproductive rights. That time is now. We need to bring in funding to fix our crumbling infrastructure and to work towards a more meaningful police reform. That time is now. These are just a few of the problems that face our district and our county that Carolyn plans to address on her first day in office. That time is now. Please vote for Carolyn Rush for Congress. You won't be disappointed.
We appreciate Mrs. Tollins for her nomination. The nomination of Carolyn Rush has been seconded by Marie DeYoung of Ventnor. I now recognize Sheriff Eric Scheffler of Northfield. I'm just very small.
No, you're not. Perfect. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to be here in front of Atlantic County Democrats. It's been a while. It's good to see so many friendly faces. 5 years ago today, actually, I stood up in front of you and I asked you to vote for me. I asked you as a convention to trust in someone that you didn't know, someone with a law enforcement background, someone who made a lot of promises that I would complete a lot of different things for you. Well, today I'm going to ask you the same thing, but not for me. It is my honor and my privilege to nominate for Congressional District 2 for Congress, Hector Tavarez. Why am I asking you to do this for Hector, as I did for you, to ask you to do it for me? Because Hector is cut from the same cloth. 5 years ago, I made promises and I said things that I would accomplish that none of the other candidates even mentioned. These weren't promises for things that I didn't understand or I didn't know. These were things that I believed in that I was doing that day. I was not only a career law enforcement officer, as Hector is, 25-year veteran in Egg Harbor Township, a captain of police, retired, but I was also someone who was actively working within our community to help each and every individual, putting people before politics. Well, Hector has done the same thing. And the truth of it is, his record was better than mine. I also had my opponents at one point when I was running said I wasn't a true Democrat. Well, am I a true Democrat today in your eyes? Thank you. Thank you. Well, so is Hector. With the Democratic ideas that he has embraced for over 30 years. He has taken a virtually unknown police athletic league in Egg Harbor Township that literally was in one broken down building and has created not only the most successful police athletic program in Atlantic County, but in the state of New Jersey, helping tens of thousands of people. He's not promising to do things that some of the other candidates are, and they're good people, don't get me wrong. I like them both. But Hector has the track record, has helped people, has taken children tens of thousands of kids and supported them. Not only has he supported children within our county, but he's supported our law enforcement family. He's supported families that couldn't support themselves with Heroes for the Holidays and Shop with a Cop. I ask you today to really think about what we're trying to do, not only in our nation, but in our county. How many representatives have we elected that has made us promises, have gone away to Congress and never has paid attention to us at all? We need someone that's going to focus on people, the people of Atlantic County, the people of the District 2, and Hector will be that person. So I ask you, as I am today, please support Hector and vote for him for our next congressional congressman. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sheriff Scheffler, especially for the assist. The nomination of Hector Tavarez has been seconded by Lisa Marsh of Egg Harbor Township. Now that all eligible candidates have been nominated and seconded pursuant to the rules, they each have 4 minutes to give a speech. I will now invite Tim Alexander up to the stage. He's very tall. He's very tall. We want to make sure.
Give me the Scheffler height. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chairman Solomon, for a great job, and to the convention chair. Thank you, Lisa, for everything you've done. And thank you, Vince, for nominating me, as well as Mary. I want to tell you briefly about myself. I only have 4 minutes, so I'm going to move quickly. As Vince told you, I'm a lifelong public servant. At 18 years of age, I entered the police academy. Unfortunately, I had to take a break from the academy, and when that happened, ironically enough, I was accosted by 3 police officers in a case of mistaken identity who shot at me, although I was not armed and doing anything. They assaulted me and they charged me with a crime I didn't commit. And as you can imagine, after I cleared my name, I wasn't interested in continuing along with my law enforcement career. But it was my grandfather who told me to be the change agent. Don't be the one standing on the sidewalk just protesting. Get involved, get into the police academy, graduate, and do the job. And that's exactly what I did. 27 years later, I retired right from Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office right here, with 23 of my 27 years there as a captain of detectives. But I wanted to continue to serve my community, so I became a prosecutor, and I prosecuted cases for 3.5 years. It was my experience as a prosecutor, as a police officer, and of course my own personal experience going through the criminal justice system that I recognized there's severe inequities and we needed change. So that inspired me to become a civil rights attorney, and that's what I was doing before I decided to run for Congress. Thank you. So that put me on a path of helping people beyond law enforcement, and I continue to do that. Unfortunately, when I, like everyone else, saw Derek Chauvin murder George Floyd, I was inspired to do more. So I actually wrote a training outline for reforming law enforcement. I started sending it out, and I started looking at what else we can do. And one of the things I wanted to see is what our federal government was doing. This is when I started taking focus on Jeff Andrew. And I started realizing that we have a representative who's not representing us. He's not doing anything for us in District 2. There are 12 congressional districts in the state. 10 of them are up north, and that's where all the funding go. You don't have to take my word for it. Look this stuff up for yourself on the internet. For instance, and one quick example, the CARES Act that Jeff Andrew voted against. $10.6 billion came to the state of New Jersey. CD2 has 8% of the population in this state. We got 1.7% of that funding, which is absolutely terrible. So I started putting together a plan. My focus is on building jobs. Yes, Assemblyman Mazzo, is correct. I want to fight for women's reproductive rights. I want to fight for criminal justice reform through law enforcement training. I also want to fight for our veterans and for Medicare. All those things are important. But the way where I'm going to put my most focus, my most emphasis is building up our economy. In the center of what my focus is going to be, bringing $1.7 trillion of infrastructure money, some of which, to this district to get some things done, to connect Atlantic City International Airport to Atlantic City, its namesake, by way of public transportation, to dredge the Salem River in Salem so that we can open up the port and build jobs out there, good paying union jobs. Right now, there's a company that's going to build a facility out there that's going to bring in 1,000 jobs if we could get that port dredged. And we know that Van Drew's got $7 million, he claims, through the Army Corps of Engineers for a $100 million project. There's $17 billion in infrastructure funds for that alone. So there's so much we can do. EV busing, as Ms. Mazzio told you, a tremendous effort to be the shining star, the beacon for this state to bring in electric vehicle busing that's going to create more jobs, New Jersey transit jobs, jobs with pensions, and a future that people can go to, don't necessarily have to have an advanced degree, and yet still have their piece of the American dream. That's my mission, that's my purpose, and by the way, that's how we get people motivated to come out and vote. Thank you, my time is up, and I do appreciate the support.
I think I figured this out. I would now like to invite Carolyn Rush up to the stage.
So thank you, Chairman Suleiman, Eileen, Marie, delegates and guests. Now is the time. My platform can be summarized by 3 goals: build a strong middle-class economy, curb climate change, and address inequalities. The candidate you nominate must understand the role of a congressional representative and how to best serve the interests of the 2nd District. When federal legislation is written, representatives must advocate for district-specific earmarks before it's voted on. Once a bill is signed, it's a law, and no amount of wishful thinking will fund a tunnel project. Persuasive communication, bringing people with disparate viewpoints together to build consensus, is how I've made a living for over 30 years. I will bring my skills to the 118th Congress. It's great that the 117th Congress passed the infrastructure bill last year. But let's be clear, Jeff Van Drew did not fight for earmarks. Nothing's tagged for the 2nd District. Decisions regarding distribution of unallocated funds will be made by New Jersey state and local officials. A promise to use infrastructure funds to tunnel under the AC airport runway, however well-intentioned, will be a near impossible promise to keep. Without earmarks, we can't yet know how infrastructure funds will be spent. But I will promise you, I will fight to fix our crumbling bridges, protect our coastal areas from flooding, enhance broadband access so no one, especially kids, are left behind on the information highway. I'll fight for a convenient thoroughfare from the Delaware Memorial Bridge to bring visitors and commerce to Atlantic City from points south and west. Atlantic City, the diamond in the rough of the Northeast, must be accessible to reach its full potential. I'll fight for middle-class tax cuts and a living minimum wage, universal pre-K, and drug pricing and more. I'll fight for federal cash rebates and tax breaks to incentivize individuals and corporations to reduce their carbon footprints. I'll push for research investments in regenerative farming techniques and alternative aircraft fuels to address carbon emissions. I'll fight for voting rights so no state can disenfranchise any voters. I'll fight to make birth control readily available to prevent unwanted pregnancies. But I will fight even harder to ensure that women control their reproductive choices and that no woman is ever forced to continue with a pregnancy. I am pro-choice. I'll fight for pay equity for women and minorities and to enshrine the rights of our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. I'll fight to end systemic racism, not only in policing, but also in real estate, banking, education, and employment. I'll defeat Jeff Van Drew in November by staying laser focused on his voting rights, making clear that his no votes hurt Democrats and Republicans. We need the candidate who best understands the role of a congressional representative and works tirelessly to pass legislation that benefits our district. I understand that a representative cannot reimagine legislation next year that was signed into law last year. A candidate who thinks that's possible will only give Van Drew useful talking points. This will be the most consequential midterm of our lives. Democrats must retain control of the House, and I'm the candidate to flip Jeff Van Drew's seat from red to blue. Now is the time. I respectfully request your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I would like to invite Hector Tavarez up to the stage.
I'd like to say Eric height, but it's more like my height. That's perfect. Good afternoon, my fellow Democrats. I'm very, very excited to be here. Let me start by thanking Eric for nominating me and my good friend Lisa March for giving me the second and giving me this opportunity to speak to you all. Let me thank all the folks that have done all the hard work. I'm not going to leave anybody out, but we know that when you put one of these things together, there is a tremendous amount of work that goes into one of these events. So I want to thank all of you and congratulate you because so far it's going pretty good. So I want to continue my discussion about performance over promises. For the last 14 months, not once have I made a promise that I could not keep. And the last couple of weeks, I've actually heard people criticize the fact that I'm not making promises about things that are out of our control. And there's a reason for that. I have 32 years of experience, 32 years of dedication to the community in Egg Harbor Township and Atlantic County and throughout South Jersey. I often talk, and you should recognize when we look at people that you're electing, when you look at people that you work with, when you look at your children, do we often take their words, that their promises that they're going to make about things that they want to build, things that they want to do, or do we often look at what they've done? So I'm asking you, look at what I've done. Look at the teams that I've put together, the success that we've had, not only in the police department, my family, and the Police Athletic League, and ask yourself, does it tell you that I will be successful as your congressman? Because I believe that it speaks volumes as to how successful I will be as your congressman. I can't help but say something about the protesters that were out there just a few minutes ago. And Eric talked about us being cut of the same cloth. And I couldn't help, I was just recovering from a leg surgery. And as I realized that our fellow Democrats were having an issue at the door, I couldn't help but get up to be their backup. And then I realized that Bear was out there and our good mayor from Atlantic City was out there having a conflict with folks. Folks, if you want to know what kind of congressman I'm going to be the kind of congressman that will always have your back. I will always have your back because my past tells me that I will continue to work hard. We're absolutely going to work to bring jobs and money into the district. We will look at the needs of Atlantic City. I'm not sure a tunnel underneath the runway is what we need to do, but together we will figure out what we need to do to take Atlantic City from the situation it's at and our district. We're going to bring jobs. We're going to expand tourism, bring IT jobs here. But folks, what's really important in this campaign, and we cannot forget the importance of this campaign. Democracy is at risk here. This is not about putting a candidate forward who can win a primary. This is about putting a candidate forward who can defeat Jeff Van Drew, who can do it in a great way and can inspire candidates across this country to run, because democracy is truly at risk. And we need a candidate that can not only win, but can inspire candidates across this country to win. I'm asking you for your support. I'm asking you for your vote. We will defeat Jeff Van Drew. And at the end of the day, regardless, we will do it together. Thank you.
All right, I just want to thank all of the candidates. Before I turn the podium back over to our convention chair, I want to remind everyone to please take a moment and check out the digital 2022 convention program book. You can find the program book on our website, atlanticdemocrats.com.
Thank you so much, Stacy. You had a big job there. I'm glad she had that role. Not me. She did an awesome job. Thank you to all our candidates, and good luck to you in the election for the ones that's contested, and congratulations to our Atlantic County Commissioner candidates. We're really excited. I personally am really excited. I think we're going to have a great run this time and really get some great representation in Atlantic County. So yay. I now recognize Floor Chair Creed Pogue. He will give us any updates on the Credentials Committee report and explain the voting process. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And we've managed to nominate 3 good candidates for county commissioner, and we have the selection of 3 good candidates for Congress. One piece of good news, it is after 3 o'clock, so I do not have to do my imitation of Bill Clinton at the 1988 convention to take up time to get us to 3 p.m. So we are ready to do the counting, do the balloting. One note is that each of our congressional candidates were allowed to have up to 2 poll watchers, whether themselves or another candidate. We are asking them to stand over here on the stage to my left, your right. And if you have any questions, please touch base with me, because I gotta let Waleed handle the tech. We could switch, but then the tech wouldn't work. And also, poll watchers are not authorized to address delegates individually. That's why I'm asking you to talk to me. I'll be down there, and then we'll figure out what we need to do from there. Voting will be done by secret ballot via your email. The email address you will see is voting@simplyvoting.com. If you don't see it, soon after I give the word, check your spam folder. Once you've done that voting, I do remind you that the petitions are out front, and since we are going to allow a half hour for voting, you will have plenty of time to make sure the petitions get signed, so then we can make sure everything gets in to the county clerk's office for our county commissioners and for our congressional candidates. Remember, you can only sign 1 for the congressional candidates. The way the ranked choice is going to work is you will see the 3 names. There will be a drop down by each one. You simply choose 1, 2, or 3 for each of them. You can't give 2 of them 1s. You are going to have to make a choice for that. At the end of the voting, we will allow that endorsed candidate to have 4 minutes for an acceptance speech. If you have issues with the voting, let me make sure you have Anthony and Kim's cell phone numbers. They're our Credentials Committee. Anthony is 609-338. That's obviously is for our at-home folks. So Anthony is at 609-338-3783. Kim is at 609-338-9426. If you're in the hall, see us, and then we'll make sure that you're taken care of one way or another. Because Kim, Anthony, Bert, and Lisa will all be available to help. And we will go from there. And Waleed, I think the word is given at, I have 3:42.
Done? Folks, the voting period has ended. I want to thank to all the delegates who took the time and attention to vote for the Atlantic County Democratic Committee's endorsed candidate. Convention Chairperson Lisa Bender will give us the winner. Thank you all for coming.
Okay, everyone. First, I'd like to thank everyone that handled the voting because there were a lot of fires that they put out and they got everybody their ballots, anyone that had any questions. So we were sure that everyone voted. Thank you. Thank you, Waleed. Woo! I was very transparent. The poll watchers were there. Everyone's able to, to watch the process. We just want to make sure it's very fair. But I do have the results. So without further ado, I want to congratulate Tim Alexander on the endorsement. Tim has 4 minutes to give an acceptance speech. Thank you so much. Although I don't care if you go over. I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you all. There's so many people I want to thank for this, so I hope you bear with me. I have to read it, so I don't want to miss anybody. And I'm honored to accept the Atlantic County line and slogan. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Anna, who's there in the crowd. Thank you, honey. My children who, my son came in from DC and my two girls came from down from Cherry Hill, and Devin, my future son-in-law. Thank you all for coming. And thank you, Chairman Solomon, Convention Chair Lisa Bender, and the other Atlantic County Democrat members, committee members who worked so hard to put this convention together. Thank you all. Thank you to Vince Mazzio and Mary Slomine for formally entering my nomination and second it. I'd like to send a thank you to Amy Kennedy, Vince, and Karen Fitzpatrick for their support in their council, public vote of confidence, and never-ending advice, because I call them all the time. And many thanks to our volunteer team headed by Mary, Victoria, and Peggy for their incredible hard work and dedication. Obviously, I would not be here today if it weren't for them. As you could tell, that's a long list of people to thank, but no candidate wins an office on their own. To beat Van Drew this November, it will take all of us working together and working hard. We have a message of hope and opportunity backed up with real plans, facts, and figures. All of my plans can be accomplished. The only missing ingredient is a representative who cares and will advocate for the people of South Jersey. If we get a message to the vote, my message to the voters, we will win. I have uprooted my life, my practice, and my family, and I would not have done so if I did not believe we can take this seat back, and I swear to you, we can. It's been so amazing to see the passion in every Zoom room, the insightful questions in every forum, and the dedication of every club committee that we've spoken to throughout this process. I do not take your support lightly, and I will continue to work every day to make sure we win this election. However, I need all of you out there with me, every single one, whether by registering voters, knocking on doors, hosting events, or donating to the cause. Everything you can do gets us that much closer to victory. I've learned so much from all of you, and I look forward to celebrating with you in June, and more importantly, in November. Thank you again. Have a great day.
Finally got this microphone to work after all that. Okay, thank you so much, Tim. I'm really excited. Congratulations. I do have the official results. Tim Alexander won with 143 votes. Hector Tavarez had 42 votes, and Carolyn Rush had 20 votes. So congratulations, we had a total of 208 votes. So thank you everyone who took the time to do that. And I do have another, I do want to ask Hector Tavarez to come up and speak for a few minutes. He has an announcement he'd like to make. Yes, Tim, please come back up to the stage. Thank you.
So when I entered this race 14 months ago, I was committed to one thing, and that was defeating Jeff Van Drew. It didn't really matter whether it was me or not, but the fact is that we have to get together and we have to unite to beat Jeff Van Drew. As of this moment, I will suspend my campaign and I endorse this man right here to be our next congressman. And together, we're going to take back the 2nd District. We're going to bring back the democratic values, and we're going to bring dignity and respect back to the 2nd District.
All right, thank you so much. That's what we look for. With unity, we can do anything. So let's all get behind our endorsed candidates, all 4 of them today. And with that, our business is concluded, and I now adjourn the convention. Thank you for your participation.